first instrument I played actually was a guitar. My father had a lot of acoustic guitars laying around, and he was really into big mariachi music, which is Mexican country music. So there's an acoustic guitar laying around. I picked it up. I just started playing on it. About 9 years old, and that was like the first time I started hearing heavy rock like AC/DC and Black Sabbath. And so with an acoustic guitar, I was already trying to play the music that I liked. It wasn't until I was 14 that my mother bought me an electric guitar, and that was when I really started getting into, playing all the riffs from AC/DC and Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden and so on and so on. And of course, the older you get, in the 80s, when all the heavier bands coming out like Metallica and stuff like that, I was getting into all that stuff and learning all that stuff on my electric guitar. Unfortunately, I don't have the first guitar. When I was 17, I bought a bus ticket to Los Angeles. I lived like 3-4 hours away, and I brought the guitar with me and one bag, and of course I wanted to upgrade the guitar, so I sold the guitar and actually bought an Ibanez. It was the Adrian Smith model with 3 pickups, and it's a great guitar. Then of course, unfortunately, I got rid of that one and I got some other guitars and so on and so on. My current main guitar is actually a Signature Series RGD, which is not exactly this one, but it's the same body shape, has 1 pickup, has a low pro edge tremolo system, because I've always been a fan of Steve Vai's, the one he has in his guitars, 1 volume knob. Early on, when I was playing in bands, I always wanted to be that guy with 4 cabinets and 4 heads and have all this stuff. And then early on I figured out, man, this is just way too much to carry. So when digital profiling amplifiers came out back in the late 90s, I switched to using that stuff, and I realized that, wow, you can go direct to the house with this profile tone with a cab simulator and inside the actual unit, and then go direct to the house and have this really clean tone, not have to lug all this gear. So over the years, of course, I've been through Line 6s, I've been through Axe Effects, and now I'm using Kemper. And for the past 3 years, I've been using it, and I love it because I'm able to profile my own tones of all the classic amplifiers that I like the early EVHs, the old school Marshalls that I had modified that I love, and the stuff that I used way back in my early records, like Demanufacture and Obsolete. I got all those profiles in my Kemper. So that's pretty much what I use. My whole live rig is pretty much in a 4-space rack. So it's just a Kemper, a wireless, that's it. Go direct to the house, left and right. All my tone pretty much goes to all the floor wedges, and then out to the house. It just sounds amazing. That's pretty much my whole live rig. There's a lot of iconic musicians that I look up to. I mean, to name a few, when I first started out, it was Angus Young from AC/DC. He was the reason why I wanted to play guitar in the first place. The minute I seen him play live on stage, on television, I was like, wow, I want to be like that guy. So to me, those are iconic musicians that, that if I ever saw them, I wouldn't even know the first thing to ask them. I would be so nervous. Of course, Eddie Van Halen. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he was a cool guy. The iconic guy. That's one of the guys I modeled my tone after, because way back he was using the JCM 800s on the first record, and when I got my head modified for the first time back in 1980, actually 84, I told the guy who was modifying my head, I want my head to sound exactly like that first Van Halen record. So to me, those guys are like the guys that help shape who I am as a musician. And so to me, those are the 2 iconic guys that I don't know, I would just freak out. I've been using Diodario strings for many years now. I would have to say maybe 18 to 20 years now. And it's not anything special. It's just the 7 string is a 54, which to some people that's kind of light. I prefer it because I'm able to get faster picking out of it. Sometimes when the string's too heavy, the tone gets a little muddier. So for me, I like more of a preciseness to it. That's why I also use the Dunlop sharp picks as well. When you use a more rounder tip, it just kind of rubs off the string. But when you use a sharper pick, it kind of really gets the attack. And so I use the Diodario. It goes from 10 to 46 with the extra 54. Then on the H string, I use a 64 for the F sharp. Well, one of the benefits about being a live touring musicians, of course, there's always pros and cons of everything. But one of the best parts is, when you play festivals like this, you get to see all your friends because they're all in different bands, and you get to meet up with them. It's kind of like summer camp in a way, and that's one of the cool things. And of course, traveling around the world, getting to see different cultures, getting to try different foods, getting to make friends around the world. Those are the benefits. Of course, there's a lot of downsides. One of the main ones is being away from home for many days at a time, weeks, months. Traveling in tour buses, not being in some of the best conditions. But, when you're on stage playing in front of all those kids and they love your music, they're singing every word, they're watching every riff that you play, those are the things that outweigh all the bad stuff. I'm a really big sneakerhead. I love sneakers. I clean my friends' sneakers. I love cleaning shoes. I don't know why. Some people make fun of me, whatever. I clean shoes. I clean my friend's shoes. I clean my wife's shoes. I clean my friend's wife's shoes. I love cleaning shoes. There's actually a market for that. A guy named Jason Mark, he has his own shoe cleaning business, and they do that. So I'm a really big sneakerhead. I really like that. Really into that. I'm also love guitars. I love going to the custom shop with Ibanez, watching them, how they make the guitars, watching them being built from day one, whether it's a CNC machine that's cutting it out or whether it's handmade. I love watching how it's built. I love getting custom paint jobs on my guitars. I love going hanging out with the luthiers to see how they were doing it. I've always told myself if I ever won the lottery that I would open up my own guitar company and do that, or maybe buy one. Maybe I would buy Ibanez. I prefer rack effects because I don't want to, a lot of this stuff has been trial and error for me. Over the years, I've had pedal boards. I've had all the effects pedals. I've had all the amplifiers. I've had all that stuff. And a lot of times when I'm playing live, kids jump on stage. They hit your pedal board. All of a sudden, they hit a cable, and then stuff comes unplugged. They hit a delay system. All of a sudden, your riffs have delay on it. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much love everything that's on my my Kemper, and then I just run a MIDI to my computer, and it does all my changes for me. So. Like tears in rain. Live and studio are two different things. Live, of course, because you got all the, fans, slam pits, everybody going crazy, people singing your music, people singing your songs, the lyrics, people going crazy. That's, I love that vibe. Studio, love it as well because you can create. And when you can create the songs, create the tones, I love that because every time you learn something new. Both, actually, on stage and live, you learn something new all the time. So I like both. Nightliner with a shower. Then I don't need a hotel. You save money on hotels if you have a nightliner with a shower, which we have. There's a company called Artist Delight. They have a shower and a toilet. And the toilet you can poop in the toilet. And the toilet is a special toilet that they use for high-end yachts, like guys with big boats, nice yachts. And the toilet has a grinder So when you do number 2, it just grinds it, turns it into liquid, and then boom. So I prefer that kind of nightliner. Then you don't need no hotel room. I prefer CDs, because back in the day when I started touring, I couldn't take my vinyl, but I could take my CDs in a CD case. So I kind of liked it because I could take it everywhere I could go. Before there was an iPod, that's how we had to do it. But now I have everything on my phone.